connected. So XL2 Triumph gonna be happening here on Nepal. Gonna be the first map of the series on Control. As XL2 look like they're gonna be rolling out here on Triple Deeps, have Buds on the Sombra. Triumph actually playing a little bit different. Looks like you're gonna be playing what looks to be solo tank, but triple support with Lynx on the McCree and Aether on the Mei.
It's an interesting setup here where, again, the effectiveness can be determined by whether or not they can get first fight, but XL2, they're gonna have so much more pressure early on with the Pharah over the top. Now, if Lynx can somehow get the Pharah out of the sky, that'll be one thing, but easier said than done with the Mercy pocketing there all the while. Triumph, though, they've gone through the first hurdle. They're almost over to the point with the Mei.
Been slowly but surely moving. They drop that Mei wall here as well, so the backline can't move forward for XL2, KSP, and that Para. Just waiting, just poking as the point presence continues goes up. But Gig, he can't touch it because he's getting pressured off, so that's first flip for Triumph.
Triumph has the first flip, but they haven't been able to move all the way over to the point. They're still holding in the middle of the map right now, which isn't too bad for Speedily. Keeps options open, doesn't have to worry about rotating around. Going for the reset, almost gets slept right in the moment. Lynx, meanwhile, deals with the Hammond on the other end. Triumph gonna be getting every last little bit of cleanup they need. XL2 back to the drawing board, but you know what? It's a good drawing board. Buds almost has EMP.
Impressive sleep there for Awkward, but also a very ambitious push, I would say, when you see how Speedily was looking to engage with the Pharah, because it's only Gig that can follow up. Buds can poke from the side, but there isn't really this full dive mechanics there. They're fully set up on the high ground. It's definitely very tough to move forward. As Samito catches them, get the bash. Bye-bye, Buds. He is gone.
That is a very big swing in time, because instead of XL2 being ready to just move in off the EMP, guess what? Buds is the heart of their offense. They have to wait for him to get back in.
So now XL2, they will have Nano, they will have EMP in the following fight. But Triumph, they have both, they have the beat, they have the Nano, they have everything they need to design to the EMP, and there's no combo structure to it. There's no other ults.
Oh, sleep just in the nick of time. Lynx was about to light him up with the Deadeye. Stuck right there on top. XL2 rotating around or towards the point. Bud still holding on to the EMP. Now it's up to Triumph. Move on, Buds is down! Lynx catches with the flashbang and the pickoff, so there won't be an EMP. 5-on-5. Still winnable for Triumph as they move in with the rally. Gig getting closing on out. Speedo moving in. Speedo gonna fall. And now we see Triumph still work their way in. They use the Blizzard. They ice out Speedily. Speedily falls, and Triumph well on their way to retaking. Two, though, still members on the point. They take down 2. Gig off the fire strike.
And Buds is back for the poke. They don't even need to use the EMP still, despite going down. Triumph getting a lot of delay there, but in the end, XL2 better focus. They were able to get the frags on point. The Blizzard not able to catch exactly who they wanted. Triumph gonna have to make the swaps. Gonna put Aether now onto the Sombra of their own. They're actually gonna be on 2-2, putting Smito on that Hanzo.
And the one good part about the eternal torment of Buds here, where Buds has been dying before getting EMP out.
Still has it.
Yeah, still has EMP, so it might work out here. XL2 still in control. Didn't need to use EMP for the last fight because, well, they didn't have a chance to. And now we'll see how Buds sets up for it here now. Triumph moving on over. Smito under some pretty heavy poke pressure. And XL2, they're going to hold it on back. They want to make Triumph full commit before using the EMP.
Yeah, they know they don't need to go too early. There's the EMP. The solo EMP onto Decod, then the anti out, denies them the cleanup, but now they're going to be finding those frags. The rally also invested. So not a huge value EMP, but it gets one. That's all you need to win the fight from.
It's effective. It gets you the fight. A fight win is a fight win, and XL2 is just one more of those away from taking round number 1, and they are loaded for the next fight.
Still no defensive ult either for Triumph. They'll have Nano, but that's really their only ult to survive the coming grab. They don't have a Diva to eat. They don't have the beat to delay that. So for your XL2, you could drop the grab, drop the Nano, and just swing for free with Gig.
KSP, the master of destiny here for XL2. Triumph trying to get sneaky with it. A little bit of progress onto the point, getting crazy far until not enough. Ground's immediately falling out here for KSP. They use it to take down Lynx and Lucio, and that should be it. Shatter in from Gig. Decon coming in from the flank, Nano boosted, but nowhere near enough. That's going to be XL2 getting round 1.
First round going the way of XL2, taking that out, and it's really just off of they had the flips, they had the points they needed. They made that swap after the first loss. They went the far better comp, ulti comp wise too. As soon as they can get to the point, as soon as they could set up Buds, even though he wasn't able to use, he really used UMP once. The entire round, he only used EMP once because he died multiple times before that. But he got the one target he needed in the previous fight. They had the ult economy. Triumph, they had stayed on the other comp a little bit too long, so they were behind into a whole game. Now we're on the second stage here. We're going to Sanctum for the fall. And this is where we'll probably see a lot of Orisa Hog.
Very likely. I mean, we saw a lot of Risa here on this stage of Nepal, even before Risa became meta, and you saw Risa in essentially every game ever. So, not a huge surprise that teams are still playing the Orisa now, where, guess what? Orisa is a lot more meta.
Speedily going to be on the Torb here as well, getting that initial speed boost before OG swaps Mercy. So triple DPS for XL2, solo heal, a lot of shield presence, also the ability to stop any push with that Mei if they need to. Triumph going to be running that Widow instead, a little bit more heals for them, a little bit less shield break.
Bud's down! Lynx immediately finds Buds. Don't really know why Buds was jumping there, but it's a terrible idea. Resurrection coming on up means that XL2 can still fight for this first fight. But Smino gets speedily, not going to be able to res that one. Bud's fighting back the other way. And the turret from beyond the grave lets XL2 stay in the fight, and they get first control. That's going to be real tough for Triumph dealing with the walls on entry.
Smino now going down. They're just going to go off the map to reset. So first fight going the way despite the Bud's pickup, but when you have Mercy, you can res, and Triumph was in no position to stop that res at all. Sure, was Bud should not have been jumping, that might be true, but you can't deny the res with Triumph's comp. Now they have the Inter gets the point, and XL2 are set up, they have the Torb, they have the Mei. This comp becomes much harder to break.
It's real difficult as Lynx though. Again, early pickoff forces the early resurrection, so it's not completely fight defining, but it gets rid of that, and Speedily's down. This time, not going to be res, as Triumph starts picking apart XL2.
Lynx, in particular, being the master of picking apart XL2. He's getting these crucial headshots. He's getting the frags to open the fight that allow Triumph to move forward, because as soon as a member of XL2, as soon as they lose someone that puts that shield pressure, it's far easier for the rest of the Triumph's frontline to move forward, and they can just take those duels.
So XL2 in a tougher spot where they're still going to be running with the Mei, even trying to recontest the point. They have the Blizzard in reserve, but Triumph's in a really good spot here, even with the ults coming in from XL2.
So now XL2 looking to go forward here. They know there's no defensive ults up just yet for Triumph. Also, when there's a Mercy on the field, there's no beat, there's no trance. So this Blizzard could be defining. This Blizzard could be something just to isolate one target and move forward to see Valve invest for OG. The high ground that wall. Needs to not get swiped though. He's so hurt.
Early Dragon Strike connects. Lynx though firing back the other way. And Lynx and Aether doing far more damage. Speedo into the fray off the other side. And the double sniper of Triumph just picking XL2 apart. And XL2, they invested quite a bit there, including the Blizzard.
Lynx is not missing. As they've said, the business, beautiful tracking. And that is what is happening right here. Lynx, he's just hitting the crucial shots. When you have a Widowmaker that's feeling hot, that's feeling the hot hand, is hitting those value picks, even on a Valkyrie Mercy, you're just going to win fights.
Triumph surpassing XL2 in progress now, 54% to 46. XL2 still running with Mei. Early heavy damage in onto Gig, courtesy of Lynx, where, as you say, hasn't been missing a whole lot, under a little bit more pressure here. But Decod throws his opposing number into the pit. And once more, XL2 going to get completely stymied.
Bud's still delaying on point there, but the longer their fight runs, I mean, the longer they get staggered, they need to back up. Haku, though, gets an incredibly value hook. Is able to remove Chop. But now, Triumph still can wait for the respawns. XL2 needs to wait for the respawns. And XL2 have been on this Torb Mei for the recontest for quite a while. If you're going to be playing these, you need to be fighting much more value than you are, because you're not winning the double sniper war. You're not winning the shield war.
Oh! Well, Torbjorn's a sniper now. Just saw it here. Speedily overloading, direct on point. Doesn't even need to pull up the ooze and multi-core. And just XL2. Early pickup from Speedily. It dealt with the threat of Lynx.
Saving the multi-core is so important for XL2 now, because they have a lot of time to make up. They need to win one fight using one ult only if possible, especially since they just use Supercharger and Valkyrie. It's all going to be about that zoning. It's going to be about the point presence here. Speedily's going to have to look for the aggression.
That's tragic. Lynx was going for the flank on Widow, and when your entire flank gets shut down by one turret. Aku immediately at the hook, finds Awkward. XL2 pushing on forward. Triumph just completely ejected. Now we're in the one-fight territory. XL2 has potentially pulled this round back.
They've also saved their ults, didn't have to use them. It was just all off those early picks, off that halt hook combo.
So going to be a Song of Fire and Ice coming in here between the Mei and the Torb. This is going to be incredibly difficult for Triumph to get through.
Tomato playing the pancake against the Torb. Right now, Lynx and Tomato, they're looking for an opening. They're looking for an angle. They want to move past the shield.
Oh, here comes the fire and the ice out at the same time.
Oh my goodness,
wait,
they're winning.
XL2, they don't do anything with it.
But Speedily, wait, Lynx stays in the molten core? He just stays in the molten core?
That was not good movement, to say it at the least. But still, XL2's in danger right now. Reset versus Reset. Gig, nowhere to go. Dives to the nano booster Reset on the other side. Still somehow throws Lynx into the pit. Triumph fighting their way back in. XL2, if respawns on the way back in, it's KSP and Buds. Soldier, Tracer swaps, working very well for them as XL2 brings their way back in. Battle Mercy doesn't matter. XL2 wins. What was the last minute of that fight?
Let's take a minute. Let's take a minute to collect ourselves here because there's a lot of things I want to talk about, CP. There's a lot.
All right.
Really, when I look
the floor is yours.
So, first of all, Lynx, once again, hits an incredibly good headshot on the entry. Double zoning ult used when they come back in for Triumph. But the problem is, he stands in the molten core. That is a problem. You can't. The molten core doing its work even after Speedily is dead. Following most of that is like they don't win the pick war. They have to still touch point. They have to have point presence. And the reality is, XL2 owned the point a lot harder. They had time for the respawns to come back in. They couldn't finish out because if you're running double sniper, which is what Triumph are doing, eventually you still must own the point. And if you lose any picks at all, it's almost impossible to get the flip.
And, you know, we mentioned double zoning out there where, okay, really, I don't think Triumph should have been able to get anywhere near as far as they did given the amount of control they had there. But the fact is, both the Blizzard and the multi-core did delay them enough that even with the early entry pickoffs, and okay, Link shouldn't have died to the multi-core, that was a thing. But even that notwithstanding, there was still enough time bought for XL2 to get back out there on the Tracer and Soldier and bring more firepower to the fight where, as you say, Triumph wasn't actually able to get bodies onto the point.
And what bodies they did get were very low HP.
Yeah.
They had to get there. And that's just the reality of when you're playing a pick composition centered around the Orisa. You have to enter through a choke through those zoning holds. If you lose anyone at all, the fight becomes exponentially harder. It's not like 3-3 where you can continually lose someone and still have momentum and bodies and health to get onto the point. You have to just not lose anybody.
Yeah, and easier said than done, to put it mildly. So XL2, they were able to pull that one backward. Don't forget, it was 99% for Triumph. Triumph started out super well. Lynx looked very promising, but that's also something to build on for Triumph as we head into our next map, which is, of course, going to be our Assault map. And if you can get picks like that on Widowmaker as you go into Assault, you're probably going to have a pretty good Assault map. So I would not count Triumph out of this here yet at all.
No, I wouldn't. But also XL2 seems like they like the bunker composition. Seems like they want to be playing on that bunker. So moving into Assault, like we just saw with Wavecheck Tea Party, bunker gets a lot of value. You're not worried about taking as many fights as possible, especially when you're on the defense. It's about winning contested fights and also having those ults to zone, especially if you're getting against counter bunker or even 3-3. So bunker could be a real threat if XL2 wants to stay on it.
We'll just have to see what XL2 decides to run with, where I would also argue that XL2 probably wasn't at full strength relative to the norm, where I don't think it's usually typical of Buds to throw EMPs away in the way that we saw there. It's not even throwing them away, but just not getting the EMP off at all. Whereas I think Buds is usually a bit more consistent than that. So if we see another Sombra setup up from XL2, I'd expect it to go a little bit more smoothly than what we saw in Nepal, where, again, it was just sort of small error after small error, stacking up in a big way.
So it is going to be Paris as our Assault. Waiting for both squads to get in here. And very likely on the first, we've seen teams moving at all levels that Orisa, Hog, playing a very bunker-heavy setup for the first, trying to own that choke point, trying to deny the entry in. We have to see how they're going to break it.
So heading over the Paris, where Paris, it's always hard to predict between teams where we have so many times where, okay, it's just going to be a first hold type of game and it's over very quickly. But then we also have the rare Paris where it turns into 4 control point, if not 6, from time to time. So pretty variable.
Also requires you to make good swaps. If you lose the first, it's not going to be a comp that you want to play for second. You sort of need to future-proof your composition in some ways where you're either ensuring you got ults out of that offense, out of that attacking team so you can make a fresh swap to neutral, or you have some heroes that say the same, especially with defensive ults. Because in that previous match that we just watched between Wavecheck and Tea Party just says, ults, never heard of them. Like, I'm just going to change my comp entirely.
Well, in terms of investment, Sombra, essentially the gold of Overwatch, where even if you don't know what to expect of all the other investments, it'll usually maintain good value regardless of what you're running around it. And for this next setup, both teams running Sombra.
Triumph going to be on this offense first, though. Look like they're actually playing that quad DPS strategy, which we've seen a couple times, but I doubt they're going to be sticking with it. They're probably just scouting. They could be sticking, though. They want to play the shield break. not a lot of pick pinch available. Speedily finds Lynx early. I bet it was a trap. It was a trap.
It was.
Bye-bye. It's already Lynx down, but I think Triumph is going to make the swap.
Speedily finds Sombra off on top of it. Not that I think Aether was super likely to stay on it here. I think Triumph's going to be going for a full swap, but I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, Aether's going to be swapping over to the Roadhog.
Now, I like it in one way in that you have the halt hook combos, but the double sniper still CP. Samido and Lynx, they still have to be finding value, and it's tough to rotate to find the angles on double sniper on Paris first.
Also, I do like the Junkrat here on first. It just makes it a lot more variable for Triumph even to get through safely. Lynx getting a bit of poke damage there. But Triumph have gotten through the first hurdle. They get through the archway. They're able to start rotating around. This is where a flank hog can be particularly dangerous.
The hardest part is over as well. They've made it through the choke. Speedily doesn't have Tire just yet. Bud's only 50% to EMP. Now Lynx has an angle. He has the sights. It's KSB, though, just hunting for him.
KSB able to flank off on the other side. Gives XL2 a bit of a breather. Resurrection, though, still even coming in. Decon in trouble. Decon just barely able to walk away. That was far too close for comfort. KSB puts up the info sight. There's a decent beat on Lynx on the other side. But at the same time, you don't want to wait just for Lynx. You want to be looking towards the other end, getting maximum value. Sees the Hanzo, doesn't get the chance to fire.
The Tire's out. It's hunting.
Tire's on the way. Finds Hanzo.
That's all you need. That's all you need. The res isn't going to be up just yet. Also, the sleep right here. KSB going to summarily remove Lynx from the field. Now Triumph, all this time they spent entering into the point. It's done. They're staying in the fight. They get the pick, but they're going to lose. Overall, they're in a much worse spot. They don't have the damage that they need. Speedily being a little bit, maybe Evil Knievel there in terms of jumping in with the mines. As Bud still holds on to this EMP. And remember, for Bunker, the longer the fight runs, the worse it is because it's so slow to take fights. They're very slow. There's no Lucio.
And Sombra usually takes a while to build EMP versus Bunker, but when you have it, it's really effective versus it. Bud just needs to not fall. Bud still transporting her up, just gets on out of there. And next fight should be an easy EMP fight for XL2, and we'll see if Bud is able to execute on it this time.
Supercharger's going to come out first, though. They're hoping to get an early pick, maybe even save the EMP, force Triumph to use something early. It's only going to be the Nano versus that, as Lynx gets that early frag.
The early jump out, always going to get you.
And Bud's is down.
Bud's is down! How does Bud's get picked? They need the EMP. Now XL2, they're going to have to win this without Sombra in tow, but KSP gets down Lynx as Aether, the most casual cafe of the point, just sleeping on it as KSP gets one more.
KSP.
XL2 fighting their way back into the point, and again, I guess the upside here, they didn't have to use EMP.
I mean, the reality for Triumph is they get that early pickoff. Wait, OG,
boy.
wait. Oh no. Cut the VOD. Cut the VOD. OG gets caught with the dragon from spawn. The fight's over. So he'll be coming back. Speedily's close to Tire. Bud's is still going to hold on to EMP. So the reality is, XL2, it was great they were able to win that fight off those picks from KSB because now they've held on to their 2 fight-winning ults. Tire's coming up, EMP, awkward to use Nano, so there's no defensive ult. It's all for Triumph to mitigate it.
I mean, there's no scarier moment for an XL2 fan right now than Bud's going for EMP. It has been a wild ride from the Paul. It's been wild here on Paris. Will this be the time that a good EMP is used? Buds goes right step back, doesn't waste any time, uses it. Lynx might have gotten the pick off, but the EMP, a good one, speedily falls up the Tire. XL2 fighting their way through, and Triumph, they're only down to 15 seconds. They don't have time to reset. They need to find a way through, but I think they're just about out of options.
It's Samido in the backline versus the world. The anti's out. Samido is anti. He needs to get picked up. He is. And now it seems almost impossible as long as OG lives.
Bud's finishing off the Hanzo. Samido, though, back into the fight. Triumph, a final last stand. They get Decon back in there. It's not necessarily over yet. A little bit of stall moving on in. Pile driver to the back. Lynx up here on Tracer. Decon. Supercharger. And there's a dragon right down the middle of the point. And it's going to get Buds. The dragon connects Samido on the rampage here. Already gets 2. And Triumph not out of it here yet.
They can't get staggered CP. They do not want to get staggered here. Samido, he finds another. You see the contest happening for XL2 is KSB actually able to combine and get one. But it's just XL2. It's speedily KSB versus the world. The res is out. The fight's over. But they've been feeding so many ults. Aether's going to have EMP for last at this rate.
This is really scary. Even though KSB has been doing phenomenal work, I don't think it's enough to bring it out back. Decod's going to finish him off. And now Triumph, they can turn the tables. They can snowball into point B. It's going to be a battle of EMPs between Buds and Aether. And I got to say, right now, even not seeing a whole lot of Aether on Sombra, I would still give the edge to Triumph here.
Triumph, they're actually just gonna make the swap. They're gonna go back to full Sombra goats unless Samido wants to stay. It looks like Samido's just gonna say Hanzo actually. They're gonna keep the Hanzo here. We saw Envy playing this earlier, but it was a question of, was it disrespect, or you truly believe that the Hanzo is just better to have than the D.Va since he gets bullied by Sombra so much? So it's an EMP versus EMP fight on us for both sides, and there's an early EMP for Buds.
It's a good EMP from Buds too. Hits 3 immediately, was as early as it needed to be, so nice turnaround for Buds. Sets the fight for XL2, gives him a bit of time. Next fight though isn't necessarily easy for XL2. They don't build up a whole lot. Mito gets a late pickoff, and XL2, they're gonna be regrouping as Triumph gets to just roll directly down mid with EMP.
Triumph should just take this fight directly to point. They don't need to clear. They don't need to clear flanks because they're the one playing Hanzo. They're the one where if they take the fight to point and let Mito roam, it's a much better situation. They have the nano as well, so they can look to just drop the nano as soon as the contest comes out for XL2. They have the tools they need. XL2 have absolutely none.
This is going to be an incredibly difficult fight for XL2 where they have to be hoping that they get Miracle Sleep or just incredibly good nano to deal with the EMP that's on the way. Aether right now, the master of Triumph's destiny. And he gets the early hack on the gate. That's such a nice setup and lets everyone else move on to that point. Still has the EMP in reserve. Dragon Strike from Mito off the side, funnels her onto the right hand, directly into the EMP. Links on the fall through. Decon gonna drop the hammer. And now Boost is out. 6 on 5. Big advantage here, the Triumph. And they're well on their way to the capping point B.
And clean up now. All they have to do is make sure everyone lives for Triumph because they own point. They continue to build up their ults. There are no ults for XL2 at all. It's maybe Gig getting a Shatter, but you can't really drop Shatter when everyone's looking at you.
Also, that was Poetry in motion there to a degree where Mito just drops a Dragon Strike on the left and Aether just goes, what, you've sent all these people over to me for an EMP? Why, thank you.
It is what we like to call a zone. It is a zoning ult because he did control a zone. Sometimes it gets memed. It's like, zoning ult, you don't get anything. But in reality, that was a zoning ult. Dragon Strike is honestly the definition of a zoning ult. You can remove an area from the field. No one wants to stand there because of the damage. You push him right into your EMP.
Also, it was a really nice opening from Aether where Aether was able to get the hack onto Ryan. One of the highest value hacks you can get as a Sombra. And what did that allow? It allowed Triumph to move into the point without having to burn the EMP. It let them use the EMP in a much higher value situation. And let's not forget, Triumph almost had no business getting back into there. They should have been full held on point A, and XL2 just let them off the hook.
Now Triumph finishing with a little over 2 minutes on that clock, so not the fastest time we've ever seen, not even close, but a solid time. It gives them some space. XL2 here looking to equalize. And for Triumph, you see this comp rolling out here on defense. They have the Orisa, they have the Hogs, they have that combo available, but also Lynx on the Ashe. He's been an incredible hit scan. Mito playing his traditional Hanzo, some people have seen him play a lot of. So they're not really looking to play around EMPs. They're not playing with Mei to stop dive or with Torb to get Molten Core to zone. It's pickoffs. It's halt hook. It's the sniper pickoffs. That's what they're going to be playing for. XL2 going to have to evaluate their comp going in.
Also, I'm not always the biggest fan of running Sombra here on the offense. I think it takes quite a while to build EMP versus a better executed bunker-esque comp. We'll see how it works, though. Really going to be up to Buds and how quick he builds and what distractions are given to him.
As XL2, they're swapping 2 triple DPS. Is Hako going to stay on this Hog? Or is he gonna, so it looks like he's going to be going, yeah, he will be going Xin. That makes a lot more sense, the synergy with this comp here. So it's shield break. They have Xin, they have Hanzo, they have Pharah. There's a lot of ability to break the shield here, but they need to be careful about losing any early picks. They can't get caught by that halt foot combo. And it's a very narrow choke they have to walk through, and not a lot of angles.
And the problem for going a shield break comp is that it can be effective at powering through, but if you lose the poke war, well, you just have to sit back and wait until your shield is ready, and you go again. And right now, the poke war doing pretty decent. Triumph. Link's able to take down Widow on the other side and just plucked speedily out of the sky.
All XL2 do is it play slow. There's no chopped on the field. There's no chop. Just play shield war, force them to back up. They don't have a lot of heals, and then walk at the point slowly but surely. They just can't lose anyone with Dynamite, but Mito, he finds another. Lynx is finding so much value from the Dynamite. Bob is available. This Dynamite on this choke is brutal. It is absolutely brutal.
Particularly when you're using Halt to set it on up, where, I mean, Dynamite is a big enough AoE that you usually don't need the Halt, but when you want to be sure.
So XL2, they're going to fully respawn here. And when I look at Triumph's composition, I really think they could be playing dive. I think they're playing dive. They can just walk right in. There's no Brigitte on the field. They don't have a lot to stop that. They don't even have the Mei to worry about. And the double sniper, I've criticized this before, you don't have any angles. You're walking through one choke. It's so tough to get the presence.
Ult gonna be coming out there again. Another dynamite, and here comes Bob, rolling right down over towards the car. I don't even think they cared about getting good value out of the bomb. It's just another thing to throw in the way. Lynx certainly build it up quickly, and oh, again, the Hulk thing up the dynamite. That's one way to build it quickly. Dragon Strike, though, gonna be forcing a bit of displacement. XL2 taking the opportunity to move on forward, in for side up. They're taking control space-wise, but Triumph, they're just backing up, saying this is fine.
They really do the only thing but Lynx. Once again, the dynamite, the shot. Samito gets the Dragon Strike, and the fight's over. Again, they did get the trance out of awkward, but there's a minute and a half, and when XL2 is playing this slow composition, they have very, very slow fights. It takes a while to get back to spawn. It takes a while to actually set it up. Awkward's going to get rezzed here. And Lynx is just finding so much value, and XL2 have found none. The double snipers, the Pharah, you just don't have any space. You have no space to make this work.
Lynx has been very dominant on the hit scan here tonight to a degree I'm not even sure we've seen before. XL2, they've had real troubles dealing with it, and now they're down to the final minute 20. About 2 fights left remaining, and they haven't made much of a progress here. As KSP, though, gets Samito and gets one more. Can't res both. Big opportunity now for XL2 to move the way. KSP off the hook shot. One more added to the pile. Amazing as he gets 4.
Well, supercharging your Widow through the choke in Paris, is it possible to work? Yes, but you need someone like KSP, and he did it. There's nothing else to say other than he just hit his shots. He hit his shots. He had the supercharger. That is first done. Take care of. They've broken the. They had broken the hold. Though Triumph is going to try to come back in here and lose the test.
Absolutely dominant Widow play. Moving in from KSP, matching Lynx shot for shot. Wait, Triumph, what are you doing? Why are you staggering in here? This is incredibly poor. You're getting a little bit delayed, but this is so unlikely to fight back. They're so close to capping that they can just roll down middle. XL2 has a very good fast break opportunity.
No, they're not
going to do it. They're going to swap.
They're going to swap. They're going to swap because they really don't, because once again, they're very slow.
Yes.
They are very slow. Triumph, they get some time off the clock, though they did have to beat some ults, but it doesn't matter because XL2 have found ways to swap now. And they're keeping Buds on the Hanzo. We're seeing a lot of teams utilize Hanzo here, very, very often. They're going to keep Awkward on this in. Triumph putting Awkward onto the Ana. They're keeping the Sombra of their own. So the 2-2-2 for Triumph, playing for the EMP war as they're going to zone for the ult and walk it in for XL2.
Dragon Strike out first here from Buds. Gonna make a little bit of space. It's like, oh, Bionade hits 3. XL2 not going to be able to heal your way out of that one. And just like that, XL2 pushed back. They're down KSP early. Triumph to take full control of the remainder of the fight. Again, they just walk into XL2 off that.
They're continuing to get these frags too. These are stagger kills. They're going to keep going down. They're going to keep finding those frags. This is such a new meta adaptation we've been seeing from a lot of these teams where XL2 is playing Hanzo, no D.Va, because they're expecting Sombra. D.Va gets bullied by Sombra. You have another combo that can't really be eaten because of the Dragon Strike. You have a lot of shield presence with the Hanzo, but then Triumph, they're going to be getting anti-nates. There's no D.Va to stop them. They also are going to have a Hanzo of their own because both the Hanzo and the Sombra get more value from the D.Va. It's a very different adaptation that we've seen previously in Contenders and even Overwatch League.
And again, just evidence that the meta is in chaos. Dragon Strike out early from Buds and gets the Reinhardt. Good early pickup here from XL2. Everyone's still incredibly healthy. There's no EMP on the horizon. Buds with 2. And XL2 just powering their way through off the Hanzo play of Buds, and Triumph falling one by one. No chance to bring it back. We're going to extra rounds.
Going to extra rounds, and it was the Dragon Strike, but OG zooms in there for the boop and puts that Reinhardt back into the Dragon. So very well played from OG. They walked onto the point. The Hanzo paying dividends. The Hanzo is great. You have shield presence, you have tank presence, you have a combo, and Hanzo, because of the storm arrows, and as long as you have a solid aim, you can outduel the DPS. You're in the counter with Samito Hanzo, you're dealing with the Sombra. Hanzo seems to be having a lot of effectiveness in this triple tank setup for XL2.
The interesting thing about the meta in recent times, I just feel like ladder has been leaking in heavily to competitive Overwatch, where GOATS was kind of seen as the premier strategy of, okay, well, we want to run GOATS no matter what, and it's a lot harder to execute in elements like ladder. You play any average high SR game, what are you going to be seeing? You're going to be seeing a lot of Orisa, a lot of Hog, and whether you want it or not, you're going to be seeing a lot of Hanzo. And somehow, that has been morphing into the strategy that we've been seeing here, and now in Contenders.
So XL2 going to be on this defense now. They did finish a little bit quicker time than Triumph. Playing once again KSP on the Widow. And you want to talk about, there's been a lot of breakout hit scan players in Contenders. We've seen Lynx right now. We're seeing KSP previously and then still right now. a lot of Widow being played these days, a lot more Sniper, a lot more Mercy damages them. So XL2 going to stick with this bunker composition, keep speedily on the Junkrat. They had a lot of success last time.
So far, both KSP and Lynx have been very impressive. Lynx going for the grapple shot over the top. Doesn't quite see anyone they might have been looking for. KSP, meanwhile, on the other side, looking towards the Hammond, and just general pressure here from DCOD, and also a bit of scouting. DCOD,
he's rolling around, he's looking for Boops, trying to get them off the high ground. He's zoning, Buds is not there, and actually speedily going to get the kill through that choke onto Lynx. DCOD's probably going to go down here. Yep, bye-bye DCOD.
Flying Hamster plucked out of the sky by KSP. KSP still looking for Smeeto on the other side. And XL2, for now, repelling Triumph. About a minute 20 left, and Aether deep behind enemy lines right now.
Very deep. They're probably going to look for the setup here, potentially on the back line or just with the ground pound from DCOD. But Triumph, the question is, how do they follow up? Because they're running the double sniper, they're slow. Well, that will do it if Lynx is able to get that early frag, because now Triumph, they can get in. They don't have to worry about the pick while the res is happening. They need to get in, they need to make space.
Well, that window is down, and KSP gets sweet revenge. Back the other way, takes down his counterpart, and gets Aether! The flick shot, close range, dealing with it. Triumph, even though they're trading out to a degree, it's still been decent for XL2. KSP, though, under pressure. 4 still up from XL2, speedily able to punish Smeeto. XL2 slowly but surely clean up at Lynx. Gets the counterpart down, and there shouldn't be a res this time around as Triumph starts making their way back in and over to the point.
Lynx is getting hard pocketed here. Speedy's been trying to get him. He's able to find Buds here. DCOD is there. This fight is going to be over potentially because they could not take down Lynx for the longest time. The mines are there to zone. How does the team contest the point?
Lynx was just persistently there the entire time, and Triumph, they're able to run their way back in. 15 seconds left, and even a swap with Smeeto over to the Soldier. They're very dive heavy on Triumph, but this is something you can just run down to point B. The problem is they're going to be running into EMP Tire.
EMP Tire, those are 2 fight winners, even against this DPS heavy setup where you can sometimes find a lot of tough situations to get value from EMP, but you just need 1 pick, 1 to 2 picks. That's all you need. Tire needs to get the same, and the fight's over. You see Triumph putting Lynx onto the Ashe, going to put DCOD onto the Hammond, actually, going to be very mobile here. It's up to the backline for Triumph. It's up for the backline for Triumph to get the nano saves one. The Valkyrie needs to be out. They need to be split so they do not get insane EMP and insane Tire.
I think getting good value off the Tire is going to be incredibly hard if Lynx is on his game, just because Tire is pretty easy to shoot down his Ashe. Tire right down the middle. Gets a bit of splash damage. EMP already used by Buds, and Buds there, the ball through. DCOD cannot roll away. Bionade strikes 2. Triumph in danger. Smeeto under very heavy pressure. Gonna fall the gig right in his face. 2-man advantage from XL2, and they're just gonna push on out. Triumph, that's it. They're done. But XL2, they still have to have a good attack of their own should they wish to win here. And getting held on point A, not impossible.
It's, in fact, quite possible. It's A is very easy to hold on Paris with the right defense. These fights have been happening extremely slowly as well. When we're seeing these slow progressions with a lot of double sniper picks. A little over 2 minutes, I mean a little less than 3 minutes. It is 100% holdable for Triumph as long as they have a solid defense and are winning the pick game.
And if it's not holdable, it's drawable.
It is drawable.
But for XL2, continuing on the same vein, it's still winnable. 2 minutes and 44 seconds. They get an extra 30 if they take point A. Not the worst position to be in, but point A defenses have been remarkably variable here on Paris. We'll see how things work out. Where Triumph, I mean, their initial point A defense was fearsome with Lynx on the Ashe. And it was only broken open by KSP just having an insane run on Widowmaker,
with
taking down 4.
With a supercharger. Like the combo is literally, let's give the supercharger to KSP and have him pop off, and pop off he did. But it takes a while to build supercharger for Gig, walking in through the choke, getting constantly dynamited, halted, hooked. There needs to be more space. They can't take that long, because the reality is also, if they use those ults, then they're gonna have no ults for the following fight. Plus, they still need to potentially just make a swap and have an ult neutral to finish it up, because they don't want to draw, they want to win the map.
Also for XL2, having to rely on KSP to go on a crazy Widow rampage, not the best win condition. You need to deal with the dynamite, a lot better than what we've seen here so far. And again, heavy dynamite value early from Lynx.
Already 40% to the Bob. XL2, they have to back up. They need to recharge the barriers, get those cooldowns back up. And Lynx is just going to continue to find value with the dynamite. XL2, the longer they take to get in here, the more value Lynx will get. The closer will get the Bob.
That was actually a well-timed halt. Stopped Lynx from blowing up the dynamite. Removes a lot of poke damage from the field. As XL2 tries to move around, but Buds gets demeched. Buds out of it early. Dynamite up and over here from Triumph. Lynx close to a Bob. All gonna fall, but this is still quite winnable for Triumph.
It is. They have Bob available. Chop is still live pocketing, but with the hook, with the combo, Lynx is down, and now XL2, they can make it onto the point. Too many players are going to be down.
And that was a finisher. Lynx, if Bob could have been called, I think it would have been different. But now heavy damage has been done. XL2 is able to put the bulk of their team back over to the point. They get to fortify behind the Orisa shield. And Triumph, they're in real danger if they want to pull this back.
However, they can recontest. They do have Decon on the point already. A lot of presence from Haku with that full hog, pushing him off the point. Going to be so much damage. Now Triumph are going to fall. This is a real possibility where XL2 can walk forward and move forward. But I think they're going to swap. They might keep it because of the supercharger.
I would like to see them walk forward here and move in. It's still going to be difficult because you're going to be running into Bob Dragon Strike, but you still have to make the opportunity and hope that KSP finds the early pick.
Bob, Dragon Strike, Supercharger, doubles the portal. Triumph have everything that they need. They know they can draw this map as long as they hold. XL2 does not have enough to work with. It's all about picks. It's all about picks in this fight for XL2.
Dragon Strike coming out first. Bob still in reserve. Lynx finds Widow even before the Bob. Dynamite out there, and Bob, if there's one person that can shoot down to Mercy, it's going to be Bob right in the middle, and Triumph doing far too much damage for XL2 to recover from.
XL2 should probably swap. I think they should probably swap if they want to win this next fight. They should know Aether does not have EMP just yet. If they're going to commit to it, they're just hoping that they're going to find value from the Supercharger and KSP, which isn't a crazy bet. But once again, Triumph still have chance, but Haku will get that early pick onto Aether. Triumph just going to swap. They're just going to swap. I think they're going to go Somber Goats. They might keep Lynx on the Widow, though.
So for Triumph, they're fighting for the draw right now. It's the best they can do. XL2, one fight left. Pick up the map win here. Go up 2-0 into the half, but Lynx takes down KSP early. Final 30 seconds.
There's the trance used aggressively. Lynx actually getting saved there by the charge chop. We take it off Haku. And now Triumph, they're so aggressive. The trance used by Awkward to bring Decon into XL2 Academy.
And the danger for XL2 is that they're not going to be at full strength when they get over to the point to force overtime. And Lynx back and find Widow. Going for KSP, ends up getting caught. That could come back to haunt Triumph here. XL2, they still have the opportunity to move back over in onto the point. Speedily rotating around the right-hand side. The rest of XL2 going down the middle. Triumph in danger. EMP about to be built. They're going to need it. They have to get back over to the point. That was way too close. As Lynx finds Gig, KSP fires back the other way. 5-on-5, EMP out from Aether, hits 4, and KSP though, fighting back, EMP or no, hits on 3. Triumph though, still in on the point. KSP has to go battle Widow, and Triumph able to fight their way out, but that was made awfully close by KSP.
KSP popping off, but the reality is Triumph used their ults correctly. I actually was questioning why go put Decon into the Rhine, but it made sense. The fight before, Awkward knows that there's no ults they have to worry about. There's no grab, there's no EMP. Let's just transcend into them and immediately win, which is what they do. Then they're staggered. They walk forward. Lynx does have a little bit of it. He's going a little too aggressive, perhaps, and they have to come back into the point. But at the end of the day, even with the early pickoffs, while Samito is on Brig and while Decon is owning the point, the sustain was far too high.
So that is a draw between here, but still good for XL2, up 1-0. Sets them up quite nicely going into the next map where should they win, that's going to be the series. But very close right now between both of these teams. I mean, obviously Paris is a draw, but both teams having very good moments, particularly when you look at the DPS. Really nice to watch.
The DPS players for both squads have been just insane. They've been finding the picks, but it's, once again, extremely chaotic at times. It's very reliant on those pickoffs rather than those individual pushes, rather than those team-coordinated pushes that we see with more 3-3-centric or even Somber Goat-centric. We're just not seeing that. It's all about the pickoffs. It's very reminiscent of Stage 4, the double Cypher meta with the Mercy. Anyways, just they didn't have Orisa there. It was more of the dive tanks, but very much a lot of the same principles.
Yeah, and let's not forget, too, Triumph was very close to having a first-point hold here outright, and it took KSP just having the pop-off of pop-offs and going, no, actually, we're not going to get first held. I'm going to take down 4 people, and we're going to go to point B for it to be a continued game, because that should have been a first-point hold. Regardless, though, it's XL2 up 1-0 here at the half. We'll be back after a short break.